Hello, my name is Gergana Denichina, a certified life and business coach, mentor, coach in emotional intelligence, and certified Neurographica instructor. In this series of 4 videos, using the Neurographica method, we'll explore several topics related to awareness, exploring, declaring, and asserting our personal boundaries. The videos contain specific exercises that I recommend you complete in sequence. You can find the whole series on my Patreon account. The method we'll use is called Neurographica. It is an innovative psychological method created by the Russian psychology professor Pavel Piskaryov, with whom I personally studied. It is a unique creative method for transforming reality, for forming and transforming the unconscious and changing our impressions in a given context. You can learn more in the specialized courses. Please check my website, neurographicaonline.com. This is the 4th video in the series My Personal Boundaries. Today, I will show you a method for reducing the intensity of the anger so that you can balance your state when your personal boundaries are violated. It will allow you in any situation to be able to balance your emotions. To understand the basic principles we use in this 4th exercise, you need to start with the first one and go through all 4 videos in sequence. Now prepare your sheets, markers and pencils, and let's get started. For the purposes of today's exercise, again, think of an incident from the last week, month, or further back in time that triggered in you irritation, anger, or any of the emotions in the anger group that we looked at in the second video. Where in your body are you feeling that anger right now? What is the intensity from 1 to 10? Write it down. Stay for a few seconds in this emotion and with the memory of the incident that triggered it. Again, we begin with the frame. Now, for 2 seconds, we are doing the following. Focus on one point on the sheet, all of the emotion, anger or annoyance, whatever the degree is at the moment for you. And look what I'm going to do and then repeat it. Take a breath and focus the anger at the tip of the marker. And for 3 seconds, do the following. How do you feel now? Now we start in the figure we drew, rounding each corner, each intersection, slowly and calmly, and turn each line into a neural line. Observe yourself. Observe how you feel. What emotions do you feel? How do you feel your anger now? Where there are inner corners, around them as you already know. And where there are outer ones, connect them with the neural line and Take them outside your frame. Give yourself time. Don't rush. Observe yourself and write down what thoughts are going through your head. How do you feel about the trigger of your anger? What is the intensity of your anger? Where and how do you feel it in your body? And while drawing, fill in the blank spaces with your lines. You can do this at a later stage as well. If you have a spike sticking out like this, take it out. It's important that everything on your drawing is rounded and harmonious at the end. Take as much time as you need. Don't leave unconnected tips like I did with the dot. Connect everything. And what is the point of what we are doing? How is it explained from a psychological point of view? And this is taught in the basic user level Neurographica course. For now, you just need to round everything. Using this technique to overcome anger and reduce the intensity of anger, this exercise is quite sufficient. Also fill in the blank spaces in the sheet with neural lines so that when you look at it, everything is rounded and harmonious. And so that there is no trace of the original figure of your anger. You don't notice it when you connect everything and round. I have rounded everything from my original figure, but to make sure it's not noticeable throughout the background, I'll add more lines and fill in any white spaces in the background. Do it on your drawing too. We're filling with neural lines again, not regular straight lines. Explain what a neural line is in detail in the first part of our series. How do you feel now? And what is the extent, the level of your anger right now? What are the sensations in your body? What are you thinking about? I've got here a few loose ends. So after I've rounded everything, I start with the coloring. Again, as I said in our first exercise, I color large shapes together. And as you are coloring, observe yourself. If all the corners are rounded in your drawing, it will be beautiful and harmonious. So let your focus be on you, on yourself. You feel warm, cold, tingling, pain, any particular sensation in any part of your body. What is going on with your emotions? And how is that connected to your boundaries? Which boundaries do you feel are in the right place? Which kind of boundaries are they? With which people? What would you like to change so that the rising anger when your boundaries are violated is less intense, happens less often? Where would you start in drawing and asserting your new boundaries? Outlining your new map? What will be the first step? When will the first step be? And we don't need to make revolutions, to make promises, very strong promises, and then to be disappointed. Start with small steps. Start with awareness, with planning from which boundary exactly to start, with whom to start. You will see that with each small step you get bigger changes. It will get easier. Don't be disappointed if it doesn't happen the first time. You try once, it doesn't work. As children learn to walk, to run, you try once, it doesn't work, you fall down, you stumble, you get up, you stomp your scarred knees, and try again. It's important to say yes to ourselves, to what we want, to what we accept, and to say yes to ourselves, we need to learn to say no to others in the appropriate way. To defend ourselves, to defend our boundaries while not violating the sanctity of others' boundaries. This is what we talk about in the third video of assertiveness and assertive communication. How do you feel now? What is the level of anger inside you after drawing your lines and coloring them? Now, as in the previous exercises, bold 2 or 3 of the lines. Let them be more visible than the others. It can be with a thicker marker or the same marker. Remember to round all the crossed lines again. That way the line is much more visible than the other lines. I'm going to bold this one as well. Try to keep the thick lines from crossing each other at 90 degrees. No cross at 90 degrees. Give yourself as much time as you need to finish. I feel I need to do one more line. Here's this one. Let all the lines be neural lines. Now look at your drawing and mentally, from the lines that exist, build and draw a closed figure. Close to an oval, a circle. Here in my case, you can see how these lines came together to make an oval figure. There is no trace of my anger anymore. And we make that figure thicker, and wherever it crosses the other lines, we round it. Observe yourself. How do you feel? Which boundaries are you ready to start changing? I would suggest that you start with the boundary whose violation has caused the anger you have drawn in this drawing. And it's no accident that you started with that. Of course, you can start anywhere. The important thing is to begin to understand, to become aware of, and to outline your new boundaries, your new map, your new territory. Good luck and always say yes to yourself. Thank you for being with me. I am Gergana Denichina, your Neurographica coach and instructor.